I'm going to make a list of the topic which I think they can come up in the exam. And the reason for this one is not I know what is coming up, but the reason is because this topic came up all the time. So first topic, if you look there, you can make a note or I can send you this one. And later on, I'm thinking to maybe make some videos on these lessons, which can be useful for you. So the partial fraction question is must question. It can come up in binomial, right? Differentiation or integration. It can come anywhere, this question. So which means this is a must topic question, which you can make the flashcard or other way. In second part there, guys, we may able to do some question on partial fraction if you think it is useful. Now, guys, we have seen so far functions question where we can see inverse function, which is again GCSE question, inverse function. And then we also have composite function, composite functions. And then we also have algebra. Sometimes they give you some bit more algebra to work on that one with functions, which also come up in the exam. So this is the two topic which we wrote so far. Number 3, guys, binomial. Now, binomial is expected to come up in both of the papers, paper 1 and paper 2. And if not in both the paper, definitely in one of the paper. Okay, so that is also very important. Now, if you go to the exam before knowing what is coming up, where is this question, you will be in much better position. Now, the another method which we are predicting is numerical method, which is standalone question. What we mean by standalone question, numerical method, there is Newton-Raphson method, Newton-Raphson method. In that method, we can see that one, that type of question will come up, and also sometimes change in sign roots question, where we say use the word different word than GCSE, we say the word continuous function, continuous function. So therefore the root lies between that one, right? This one can come up, and after this one we got differentiation, which is from year 1, differentiation from year 1, year 12 we can say. But the main question which you're expecting is minimum and maximum. Now, guys, we need to understand here what is the meaning of word maximum and what is the meaning of word hence. Now, sometimes we can't do part 1 completely, but they still, we can do part 2. We can still use, they ask that prove that this is equal to this one. We can use information or info from part 1 to answer part 2, and this may happen in many questions for you. So you need to make sure you always use information what is hence question. If you want to come back, you can come back later on, there's no problem, but you must do the part 1, whatever you can do, and then you can do the part 2. Now, after that, we said there's another important question, which is number 6, is trapezium rule. So trapezium rule, I will say maybe 89, more than 90% will come up in the exam. Nowadays, guys, which we can see in mock set 3, I think question number 4, mock set 3 or 2, question number 4, similar question which came up last year, they give you some worded problem and they don't use the word trapezium rule. They have given you the height or the height as well, because they make a table for you like 0.51 and so on, but you just need to understand and use trapezium rule to answer that question. Number 7, we said the modulus question. Modulus question, usually solving. Now, in order to solving modulus question, Sheena, tell us how we solve modulus question. What is the key we use?
Because it can be either positive or negative.
Very good. It can be either positive or negative. So what we mean by either positive or negative, so for example, if they say modulus of x plus 2 plus 7 is equal to 10, so we do first time x plus 2 plus 7 equals to 10, and then we put a line, then with minus x plus 2 plus 7 equals to 10, these type of question. Now, once we know these type of question, then it should be quite easy for us to do this one. Modulus graph also come up, which we need to do that one. So that question is likelihood to come up along with transformation. After that, we said number 8, we got r sine theta plus alpha question. Again, very important question, which we need to find the value of theta, alpha, and r by using trigonometry. These are the question, guys. Number 9, I'm going to say factor theorem. Remember, they are saying prove that this is the factor of this one, where you need to substitute, for example, x equals to 2, and you must write down at the end there f2 equals to 0. Therefore, this is the factor. Moving forward from this part, sometimes they also say to you, once you've done this part, they say to you that how many real solutions they have. So that part comes up, or not real solution, which means we need to use discriminant b square minus 4ac, right? Once we done this one, we done factor theorem. After factor theorem, I think the important part is proof, right? I'm going to write down here proof question. One proof question maybe in each paper or in both of them will come up. So we can expect geometric proof, geometric series proof. I can do this question for you in another video. So we got geometric, we got arithmetic proof, series proof that Sn equals to n over 2 bracket 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Or we got another question which is y equals to ln x. So dy or dx, y equals to ln x. So what is the dy or dx going to be equals to? These type of question, right? So again, important question there. What is that going to be? Differentiation y equals to a to power x. What is dy or dx going to be? That type of question, right? And after that, I think there's another important topic which I'm going to write down, guys. We do not like proofs, which are the chapter 1. So in proofs, there are 2 types of question. Type 1, I need whole of the page. So I'm going to write down proofs, guys. So in proofs, this type 1. There may be more than 2 types, but I'm going to consider 2 types. Yes, first type is always, sometime, and never. Now, what happens in these type of question, always, sometime, and never? We use numbers. We use positive, we use negative, and we use 0 maybe. So, for example, they say 2 to power x is greater than 3 to power x or something like that. This is true always, sometime, or never? So, or greater than equal to something like that. Yes. So most of the time the answer is going to be sometime, most of the time. But you can't write the answer only without doing that one. So Sarah, what does it mean by that when we do this type of question? Go
on. So essentially we just have to find values where sometimes it's true and then sometimes it's not true. So and then if we can
you can use calculator, but you need to write down the examples there. So for example, in this case, if you substitute 0, we can get this is true. If we get one value, 2 is greater than 3, which is not true. And if we put 2 to power minus 1 and 3 to power minus 1, that is going to be other way. So that is going to be true, right? Now in this same part, the other question which we do not like, they say always true. Always prove that this is always true. Now in these type of questions, Snigdha, what type of things we need to do when they talk about always true? Go on, Snigdha.
We could talk about that completing the square one.
Good. We use algebra in these cases. We do use algebra. So what we mean by that, we mainly use even numbers. What are the even numbers? Like 2n, 2n plus 2, and so on. And when it is odd number, we use odd numbers, which is 2n plus 1, 2n plus 3, and so on. Now in this case, if you are going to try to trial method, then you will not get any marks. So if you use trial method here, you do not get any marks. So we need to be very, very careful with this part. And guys, also last couple of things which I never added before, but I am adding now. So first principle is also very important. First principle. Now for the trig function like sine x, cos x, right? These type of question could come up, proved by using first principle. Or there's another question which came up recently in the mock. Prove that from first principle that differentiation of 5x square minus 3x is equal to this one when x and y are this way. So you should be ready how you're going to answer this part. And guys, another thing I think we have considered, yes, definite integration question, guys. This is the must question. This is the good best thing which you want to write on. So out of these 5 questions, 4 or 5 questions, 1 question is must. So if you do integration of sine square x, integration of cos square x, integration of tan square x, and integration of ln x. Who can tell us how we can do integrate ln x? Snigdha, go on, how we do integrate ln x?
By parts.
By parts, we times by 1. So we say u equals to ln x and dv by dx equals to 1 and so on. So this is also very important. And last thing which I will say, around 10 marks question, which is implicit differentiation. Now guys, I'm planning to do the videos on these chapters depending on the time, these topics. So therefore, please make sure you look for that one. If there's any question, you can ask me, and I think it is going to be useful for